Hi guys, how are you? This is Joyce. Welcome back to our GH live stream. So today we're going to share with you for this kit, the number code G641. And for this kit, including 6 pieces the fast giant dipping powder and 4 pieces the dip glue. So as usual, number 1 base, number 2 activator, the number 3 the top, and the number 4 the brush saver to clean your dirty brush. So here's the colors. We got 1 clean, 1 white, and 2 French pink, and 1 solid pink and solid purple. So today our nail technician wearing is the number 2, the French white. So here's today's designs. It's the ombre nails with baby bomber looks and with the chunky glitter. So later we're going to show you how to make it. It's super easy to follow. Just follow with us and you could get the fantastic baby bomber shiny nails. And for this kit, actually you could have more powders to do because it's the white colors. It have more choices for you to make all nails. So let's prepare the number 2, the French nail, the French white powder. This one is the white color, and today our nail technician wearing these white colors too. So later we're going to do the designs with this white color and 1 pink color. It's called number 14. It's 1-4. This one is the solid pink from the G641, the powder kit. So we're going to use these 2 colors to make the baby bomber ombre nails. And here is the number 1, the chunky glitter from G6607. For this chunky glitter, we just want you to show that how gorgeous of these colors. Just like the fairy. So these colors is very fantastic to do the designs. So let's go for the tutorial right now. For our nail models is wearing the fake nails, but we already done all preparation like washing hands, push back the cuticle, and cut off the cuticle too. So we take out the balm pipette. So if you are making your own natural nails, just using the balm pipette, the balm or the primer to dry the nail bed first, because you want the powders will more stick with your nails. So dry the nail bed first is so necessary for your natural nails. So here's the number 1 base. For our base, it's super easy to open and actually super easy to control. First, we need to brush the base to your entire nail from the middle left to the right. For every time, you just make sure brush evenly and flat. So after the 1 layer of the powder, the base, now we pick the pink colors. For this pink color is called number 14. So we're going to do the ombre just to pick the colors, just tapping on the nails. So later is the white powder. For the white powder, because it's so heavier than more other color powders. So we suggest when you do the ombre nails with white powder, you just hold your brush more higher than other colors. Let the powder fly in with the air and just fall down on the nail beds, and it looks more natural. So normally for the ombre nails, we suggest to do 2 times is enough. So we just during the second time, following the first time, just using a brush to pick the pink powder, and just using your pens, just do the tapping. Tap, tap, tap on the nails, follow this. And for the white powder, you could select another brush if you do not want the powder mixed together. But because we're doing the tutorial, we just use 1 brush. And just to shade up the powder first before you doing the white powder. And as you can see, we just put your brush more higher than other colors, because you just want the ombre looks more natural. So later we're going to brush off the excess powder. After that, we just doing this one. And here's the number 1. For the number 1 is the clear powder. So I think some client, when they got the kits, they have the question for which one is the clear powder and which one is the white powder. Actually, you could recognize or extinguish by their outsides. One is clear, another is white. And one more thing, the most important thing, that we put it on the bottom sticker. So when you see these two colors, you just check it. If the number 1 is the clear powder, number 2 is the white powder. So do not mix it. So if you mix last part, we are going to do it again for this nails. First, brush the base. And using the brush, how to pick the powder. Just going to do the tapping on the top for the pink powder. This color called number 14. And to pick the white powder. As I mentioned, for the white powder, because it's more heavier than other colors, so we suggest you just put the powders more higher and let it sprinkle ombre natural on the nail bed. And then your ombre nails looks more natural. And actually for our fast giant dipping powder, it's super easy to do the ombre nails. Although our powders could be dry by itself. Since it could be dry by itself, so actually it's super easy and super gorgeous for you to do the ombre nails. It looks more natural. And today we select this color, just late baby bomber. Okay, so after 2 coats of the color, we just brush off the excess powder from your nail bed. And we're going to brush 1 layer of the clear powder again. And just dip into the clear powder. For our powder, the clear powder is fast drying too. So just wait for it to dry within 30 seconds that you could do the filing, shaping and buffing. But we're going to do the next nails. So actually now we are going to do these fingers again by the same way. But if you're just learning how to do the powder nails, just follow with us. The first time you must be to brush the base evenly on your nails to avoid the bumpy or uneven problem. So just to brush the white powder and tap off and brush off the excess. Why we brush off the excess powder? Because every time you need to use your base, if you do not want your base, the brush of the base get dirty or get hard, it's so necessary to brush off the excess powder rich from your nail bed. Okay, just slow down when you're doing the ombre nails. Just let your powder more higher in the air and then to sprinkle on the nails. It looks more natural. So it's not just the accurate way to make the ombre. For our fast giant dipping powder, it could be made the natural ombre nail looks too. So if you found it could be to pick some chunky glitter to do the decoration. But do not to tap too high. You just to tap a little bit and let this sprinkle on the nails. And for this chunky glitter, it's from G6607. And we prepare some flower shape sequence too. But this kind of the flower sequence is from the Amazon. You could buy it from the Amazon. You just search in the flower shape sequence. Because we just want this nails looks more shiny and actually is more fantasy. And for this color, just like the peach color, the peach pink. So we are going to do these fingers again. So first, every time to make sure you brush evenly from your nail bed of the base. But you need to cover the whole nail bed. But do not let the base to get on your cuticle skin. And after the base, you need to do the ombre directly and hurrier because you do not like the base to get dry. You need to do it as soon as possible. And then using the big brush to brush off the excess powder. After first time, you're going to brush the base again to your entire nail again. So for this time, we just need to brush evenly, like the first time, and to choose the pink powder. Just doing the ombre from the top. Follow your last ombre. Before you're doing the white powder, you need to shake up the excess powder from your brush. But actually, if you have two brushes, you could use two brushes to make the ombre nails. So brush off the excess powder. It's so necessary. And we are going to brush the base again. And this time we pick the chunky glitter. So actually for this chunky glitter, it's gorgeous for you to make so many designs. Because it's the chunky glitter, you just pick a little bit and let it sprinkle on the nail bed. And you could use your sequins to pick the suitable sizes of the sequins and let it sprinkle on the nail beds to let the design look more fabulous. So we chose the flower shaped sequins and let your nails look like the spring, and actually it looks more fantastic. I think this kind of the nail is super suitable for the wedding nails too. A little bit romantic colors for this peach pink. So after the chunky glitter or any kind of the sequins or the glitters, you must be to cover with one layer of the clear powder. So for this kit, the G641 with one clear powder too, but it is the half ounce, same size as others. If you want the bigger size, you could buy our Dip powder accessories kit. And today we have this kit, the limited time lightning deal too for the whole week, this whole week. So you just focus on our GHdip when you enter the Amazon, that you could get this powder kit with favorable price. And actually super dilate the powder colors for you because the white colors is so gorgeous for other designs. And today we're using the long nails to make these designs. But if you're short nails, do not worry, you could use it too. But when you're using the ombre nails, you just use the small sizes brush. Okay, back to the tutorial. Every time you just focus on our tutorial, and you could see that every time we brush the base, we brush the same way, and when from the middle left to the right, and let all the base to put on your nail bed, but do not let it get on your critical skin. So first you must be to pick the suitable volume of the base. But actually for our base is thin and actually super easy to control like the gel polish. So you do not need to worry whether it is easier to get the bumpy or uneven place or not. And tap off and brush off the every layer excess powder is so necessary. So for these two fingers, we are going to do the white nails. Because the basic color is the white color, so actually you could to do the painting designs, or you could to decorate with some gems or sequins. It just depends on you. And actually for the white base, the background colors, it's super easy for you to make other designs. You could paint any pictures or any image on their nails. Okay, for every time we need to use the powder for 2 times. The 2 times is enough. And for our white powder, actually is smooth enough with the full pigment. So every time when you're using the white powder, you need to stir well the powder and shake well the powder too. Because it's more heavier than other color powders, so normally you need to shake it well and stir well to avoid bumpy. Okay, just going to tap off and brush off the excess. So okay, we are going to do the middle fingers for this one. We are going to dip into the clear powder first. So as I mentioned, how you distinguish the clear and white powder. Just see the bottom sticker. And one clear powder first, and then to put the chunky glitter. For the chunky glitter, you just dip into the chunky glitter and take out. But for the chunky glitter, it's so fine for this glitter and so big. So normally we're using the sequins to help to put the glitters on the right position. Just use it to press it a little bit. And because for this way, you can avoid the surface get bumpy if you do not to put the suitable position of this chunky glitter, you might have the bumpy nails. But actually, you could just use the sequin to help you, the tweezers to help you. So after one layer, you just need to cover one layer of clear powder. For this finger, we're going to do the same ways too. And just to brush one layer of the base and dip into the clear powder. Tap off. Brush off the excess. And to brush one layer base to your entire nail again too. Because we just used one time of the chunky glitter. So actually for the first layer, we're using a clear powder to do the basic. And tap off. Using your fingers to help to press it a little bit. If not, using the tweezers to help. And we're going to do to put one layer of the clear powder too. And just using your brush. Don't worry, for the brush, actually you could clean it by the brush saver. So we must be cover one layer of the clear powder. And to protect it. So now we're going to clean the table first, and later we're going to do the filing, shaping, buffing directly. So for our powders, it could be dry by itself, so you do not need to worry whether it could be get dry or not. No matter what temperature, for our fast dry and dipping powder can be dried by itself. So that's why we suggest to use this one, because it's saving your time, and actually you could, although you are the nail beginner, you could get some very perfect powder nails too. And it's kind of the healthy way for you to make the nails, because no need a UV lamp. So now we take out the machine. The nail machine, the nail file. So we need to file off the bumpy place or any place with things not evenly. So we are just using this to do slightly on the nail bed. But actually, if you follow our tutorial, every time make sure your base brush evenly, that you won't have any problem of bumpy uneven. But actually, you must be to do the filing on the surface to let your nails look more flat and glossy later. Especially for this chunky glitter. So that's why we suggest you, after dipping into the chunky glitter, you need to do adjustment a little bit by your fingers or by the tweezers. And for this baby bummer nails, one key point, when you're doing the white powder to do the ombre, you could let your brush more higher in the air and just let the white powder fall down more natural. So you won't have any problem of this kind of the ombre nails. Just put your white powder more higher than the other color powders. So actually for this filing, we need to file off the bumpy place, or you could use the nail file to file off the excess powder, especially from your nail edge or top of the nails. Because for nail models, it's wearing the fake nails, so every time we need to hold it a little bit. So after that, we need to take out this nail file. For this nail file, you could do the shaping, but actually, if you do not have the nail machine at home, you could buy this kind of the nail file to do the filing too. It's using for the artificial nail because this kind of the nail file, the middle part is with the sponge. It's more flexible than the emery board. So this one is using for the artificial nails. It is without much pressure for the artificial nail because you do not want to ruin your designs. So for this kind of the nail file is very suitable for your artificial nails during the nail art process. Just do the shaping, and today's shape is the coffin shape. So actually you could see that when we doing the filing, you could see it, we need to use 2 fingers to hold your critical skin, the critical parts, because you do not want the critical skin to get scratched by the nail file. And just use your 2 fingers to hold that. But actually, if you are doing the nails by yourself, you could use your another 2 fingers to hold that. So, for example, when you're doing the middle fingers, you could use your top finger and your 4th fingers to hold it. To hold that to avoid scratch. And one more thing, the reason why we doing every time to cover 1 layer of the clear powder, because when we doing the filing or the shapings, we just could fire off the surface one, the surface layer. Do not to reflect your glitter or your designs. So here's the why we suggest to do 1 layer of the clear powder to cover that. So after the shaping, we need to do the buffing. For this nail buffer, actually you could buy it from our dip powder accessories kit. But if you join into our Facebook group, we have so many free gifts for you. And actually, when you're doing the buffing, it's so kind of necessary to get more shiny and more smooth surface. Because every time we need to grind in the nail surface more smooth. And just when you're doing the buffing, you could hold this, you can see that we have two sides of the buffer. We normally to do the 100 grit size first and turn to the 180 grit size. Because different grits with different coarseness and roughness. So actually we use the more rough side first. The less quantity of the numbers, the less numbers with more rough surface. So if you want to get more perfect nails, the buffing is kind of the necessary part. Do not forget to do the buffing if you want your surface looks more glossy and shiny. So this is the necessary part for you to do the buffing. Although it's long and you need to wait for a long time to wait how it looks, but if you want to get more perfect nails, it's kind of the necessary part. And actually for this kit is the number code G641, and we have 6 powders, the 6 fast dry dipping powder inside it, and 4 pieces the dip glue. And actually for G641 is so basic powder kit because you could got 1 clear powder, 1 French white powder, and 2 French pink powder, and 1 solid pink and 1 solid purple. So actually this basic powder kit is your best choices if you are just doing your own nails with the powder nails at home. So if you buy this kit now, because we have the limited time lightning deal right now, you could get this kit with favorable price if you are not having it. So it's so necessary if you buy this one basic powder kit. Because for the French nail is so natural looks to when you working or at home. I think the French nail is kind of the fashion nails. There it is the vintage style of the French nails. You could do any designs. So after that, you could go into do washing your hands, but actually we're gonna just brush off the excess powder right now. Just using a brush to brush off the excess powder. And later we're going to use the lint-free wipe. And actually if you do not have the lint-free wipe, you could use any paper towel without lint, because you do not want it to get on your nail designs. So just wipe off the excess powder or excess dust from your nail beds to make sure that. So here the number 2 activator. So many customers have the question whether our powder nails used with the activator. Yes, we need to use it for one time before your top coat. And very thin layer, we just need to let your top get dry and shiny. So it's kind of the necessary part. Very thin layer. Because for the activator, actually is the volatile liquid. After using, you must be to keep the cap tightly closed to avoid it disappear with the air. So after the clear one times of the activator, we're going to do the top coat on. So now we need to prepare the top. We're searching the top. It's not the top bottom. We're just searching for the top. So here's the number 3, the top. So for the number 3, the top, you need to use it 2 times. And actually for the first layer, it's very thin layer but brush evenly for every time measure. So we need to brush evenly from your nail bed, the whole nail bed. And just, normally we pick 3 fingers. When the first layer half dry but still sticky, we're going to do the second layers too. So we're going to go into the second layer of the top. And this time is much more than the first layer. And for this chunky glitter, looks gorgeous. I like it. It's the number 1 from GHdip. So here's another. And for this one, we do the baby bomber, the ombre nails with the peach pink color, and select the peach pink flower sequence. So it looks gorgeous. We're going to brush 1 layer on another layer, the second layer. And every time brush evenly, no matter which nails or which layer of the dip glue. Every time make sure brush evenly. And for this final, the little fingers, we gonna to pick some gems to do the decoration. So actually you could using the tweezers to help to pick it. But actually for this handle way, you need to do it a little bit fast if you are just using the powder nails, because for the top it could be dry, the first dry within 1 minute. So you need to do it a little bit hurry up by these designs. So actually, as you can see, we already put more top on too. To using the tweezers to pick the sequins, actually it is not the easy job, but you could do more practice when you're doing it on your own nails. And actually, if you want the more easier way, you could buy some stickers or sequins, just put it on. For this kind of the gems, you need to let the tweezers to hold it and to pick it. I think you could pick more bigger sizes of the gems. If the small sizes, it will be more easier to file down. Okay, so we just put the gems following your nail shapes on the top. Actually, you could deco with the whole nails too, but we do not have much time for the tutorial, so you just show you how to use it. So for this finger, we gonna to brush 1 layer of the activator. Very thin layer, but you need to cover the whole nail bed. Do not miss the parts you did not brush the activator, or you will find whether the surface get cracked. So there's reasons is why, because you need to brush the activator to your whole entire nail, but do not missing the part. So, and now we're going to brush the top on. Normally for our top, use 2 times. For the first time, a little bit less volume, but brush evenly for every time to make sure you brush evenly for the nail bed. Because if you want to get more glossy and shiny look. And don't forget the nail edge. Okay, so for these 3 fingers, you just wait around 1 minute. You could let it get dry. Okay, so we're going to brush very thin layer first. For the second layer, we must be to brush evenly when the first layer half dry but still sticky. Okay. For this one, we are going to do the decorations too. Using the tweezers to help you to pick the gems. Okay. Super easy to file them, but you need to measure and more patience to make this kind of the designs. And just using the tweezers to help to pick it. Okay. One by one. The big size with 2 or 3 the small sizes of the gems to the deco. To pick it one by one. But do not let your top wait so long time because it could get dry. So just put this way. You could put the gems to your whole nails. So today's design is like that. So here's the designs for this baby boomer shiny fantastic nails. It's super suitable for you for the weddings. So thanks for watching today. Don't forget the limited timeline and due. See you next time.